My name is Farrell D. Moore, and I'm your host for The Third Dragon of Creative Writing, Part 3. I can scarcely restrain myself. You, my very beloved, are standing next to the great Ferdinand, slayer of the dragon of separation, gazing at him with adoring eyes. Your long black hair falls about your shoulders, and your beautiful face glows with the soft radiance that is love. What is it? Asked the tall man. It is nothing, I say, but it is really everything. I turn my face away to hide my grief. You do not see me, or at the very least take no notice of me. After all, why would you notice me in the presence of Ferdinand, soon to be the greatest storyteller in all the world? A tentative wind moves through the air, carrying fine dust that irritates my eyes. I lift my hand to keep them from injury and to hide a wayward tear. My fellow writers and storytellers, begins Ferdinand. The villagers cease their pushing and shoving for position. The wind quiets down, too, as though in respect for this great hero. I blow my nose. My tall friend turns to me with a horrified look on his face. Sorry, I say. It's the dust. Shh, says the crowd. Please, please, everyone, says Ferdinand. His voice is resonant, and his face strong-chinned, and his eyes flash bright blue as wildflowers. I'm here before you to introduce to you three very special friends of ours. It is clear that he speaks of he and you as a couple. The crowd is immersed in this charisma of this hero. They stare at him as though they are raptured. To me, he looks less handsome than before, and has, in fact, a weaker chin than I thought. No man stands alone in a great battle, says the dragon slayer. I'm no exception. Wherefore comes my courage, my vision, my strategy, and my tactics. Those of you who know me know the source of my courage, and my very inspiration to be strong comes from this fair maiden standing next to me. He turns and lifts his hand towards your face so that the bedraggled crowd of celebrants can gaze upon your lovely face. I see you smile radiantly as you turn your face to one side and then the other, ever beneficent, showering them with your beauty. Men, women, and children applaud you enthusiastically. I feel as rooted to where I stand as the apple trees beyond the platform. My heart is frozen, and I swear that it beats first faster, then slower, first with hope, then with despair. You finally look at me and my three new friends. You smile at them, but when you see me, your eyes widen. But still you smile as though I am not there. Like a woman stepping over table scraps that have fallen to the floor, you will no longer notice me. Your eyes now are on the feast, the great Ferdinand. A youthful wind has come running into the town to play with us. Banners flap and snap with a sound like breaking wood. The sky is still clear. In a moment of self-pity, I search the skies for vultures, praying they will choose me next when they are done devouring the dragon. As Ferdinand raises his hands, palm out, for silence, I look at my three friends, one tall, one bald, and the other heavy. I am glad that I think of them only as this now. We storytellers should not look too closely at others. The stories that we conceive should not be formed from those we know, for what we know too well we become part of. If therefore those persons leave us, part of us too is lost. You see my inspiration when I look at her. Now you may ask whence comes my vision. My fellow storytellers and writers, I now invite Andoriron to come and stand by my side, the man who sees the future in all its details. The crowd begins clapping wildly again. I believe it is time for me to leave. I have heard and seen enough. You are with the great Ferdinand, and I can leave my three friends behind as the strangers that they really are. One tall, one bald, and one heavy. I'm about to turn and walk away when my tall friend steps forward and straightway walks across the open space in the middle of the crowd and ascends the steps to the stage. Prophet, 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 chants the crowd. I cannot believe this. Who did I walk into town with? Who did I stand next to? Baldwin, I ask, why has our tall friend gone up on the stage with the great Ferdinand? Tell me this, please. Ah, says my bald friend, I can see that even without the great Ferdinand's instruction, you are a modern writer. Whatever are you saying, I demand? Clearly, young lad, when you look at those around you, you do not measure or study or see within them. It is enough that one of us is tall, one of us is bald, and the other fat. With this talent, you are ready to understand the sword called commerce and the lessons of the great Ferdinand, soon to be the greatest writer in the land. I do not understand, I say, but I know what he means, and I'm afraid he will tell me anyway. No writer who sees only size and shape and does not explore the heart of those around him can ever hope to imagine enduring characters. This is a good thing for a modern writer, as Ferdinand will later explain. Such imaginings would take too long and too much of our hearts and minds to bring forth. Remember, Athena sprang fully grown from the mind of Zeus. So, too, must a writer give birth to characters. We have no time to paint more than mere brushstrokes. We must only sketch what is easy and quick. Andorion will speak to us about why this is so. But why? I asked in bewilderment. Shh, he says. Andorion, who had the vision which inspired the great Ferdinand, is about to speak. I look for your face to reassure me. Once again I feel lost, but you do not look at me. Your beatific face has settled instead upon that of Andorion, the man of visions. My friend, says Andorion, Ferdinand has so kindly asked my most humble self to address you all, to share with you the prophetic vision that transformed him into the writing hero that he is today. He takes a breath, and I notice for the first time that his ears are thin and large and veined like a king's butterfly's wings. I see that his face is sharp as a knife, that his chin extends forward beneath the ledge of his nose. His eyes are wide and black, with no white to them at all, like a man who sees visions more clearly than the surrounding life. Does he, I wonder, see color at all? One evening, he begins, I found a white-petaled flower while walking in the woods. It was a magnificent day, my friends. I could not help but pick it up to smell and partake of its delicate essence. When I plucked it from its stem and held it to my face, I saw that at the center of its delicate white crown of petals was a circle of gold. The fragrant aroma of this forest jewel overcame me, and I swooned, falling back and dropping to the ground. The crowd holds its breath. Andorion's hands flutter as he speaks, like sparrows looking for a perch. You look at your hero, Ferdinand, and then back to Andorion, the visionary. Off in the distance, I see a vulture rise, his carrion flecked beak too small and far away to despise. I was carried high into the sky, and when I looked down at the earth, I beheld from that great distance the future of writing. Though hurt deeply that you have not even once looked at me, this tall man, cradled in a maroon cloak, clasped around his neck by a thin gold chain, held together by a blazing red square ruby that I had not once noticed, this tall man held my attention now as a candlelight holds a moth in its bright circle. Here's what I saw, he says, with a voice deep as sacred bell, tolling in a mountain pass, where its call echoes and bounces and grows faintly quieter, yet more powerful with each reverberation. I saw this. For a moment, he shows us nothing, until he looks at me, sure that I am desperate to know his future vision. He smiles when he's sure, and I see his thin gray teeth wrapped between narrow lips, then with the attention of all brought close to him as a whisper breathed into a lover's ear, he holds up a gold coin for all to see. Now that's all for today. Tune in again, but until then, keep writing.